Leroy's doing this on a Tuesday, a rare Tuesday appearance from Leroy. It's brought to you by PrizePicks. We all make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season, whether you're following the NFL, NBA, or both. There's no better time to jump in on the action if you haven't tried it yet. PrizePicks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere PrizePicks operates. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right.
Leroy Hoard is with us.
Go Bucks.
Leroy,
Go Bucks.
Happy holidays. Leave him be.
I got it from both sides. Because you know I'm
Leroy,
down here in Miami.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year to you.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Leroy, I don't know if you heard us talk about this, but Steeler fans are, of course, going to whine when Myles Garrett breaks the record that T.J. Watt set the record in less games, and they're going to want to put an asterisk or some nonsense like that. What do you think about that?
When Myles Garrett break the record, they ain't going to say had one extra game on the side. They're going to say owns the record. Simple as that. When a guy run for 2,000, they don't say OJ did it in 2 less games.
That's right.
Right? They don't say that. It's just the number is the number. In one season, you probably would have had a better chance to win a game if your whole goal wasn't to not let Myles Garrett get a sack. You might have had a better chance of winning. So,
that's very true.
Stop.
Leroy, we was talking about when Myles breaks this record, where will we put him on the list of top pass rushers? Where would he be at? Would he be number 1 for you of all time?
See, I look at it a little bit different because I played a little bit before you, and I saw the change in the pass rush when LT got into the league, when you had to change your whole blocking scheme. LT changed the way offensive blocking schemes were happening because he was a linebacker, and for 2 or 3 years they tried to send a running back out there to block him, right? And then they start treating him as a pass rusher, and you fanned out your offensive lineman. Now, since then, they've come up with schemes to chip and tight ends in to help and things like that. So Myles Garrett is going to be one of the elite simply because with all of the offensive blocking schemes to stop pass rushers now, he has still managed to be successful and to have a record like this. So he's going to be amongst the elite, but I would probably look at him a little bit different, and I would always go to LT as like the starting point of all of this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, that's where he changed kind of like the game. Now, I played against Reggie White. Reggie White was one of the strongest human beings I ever saw in my life. I'll tell you a quick story. So we were playing Green Bay. When Reggie was with Green Bay, I was in Minnesota. And the thing that everybody said was, don't cut Reggie. Well, we would run 3-step drops. And the back's job was just to get the outside guy's hands down. So you just threw at his legs. You weren't really trying to cut him. You was just trying to get him to put his hands down so the three-step drop, the ball could get out quick. I went out, and I guess Reggie wasn't looking, and I cut him.
Oh, man.
I wasn't really trying to cut him.
Oh, man.
I was just kind of half-ass rolling into him, right? He got up, and Reggie didn't cuss. He started praying. Lord Jesus, they trying to end my career. And
oh, no.
So I get back in the huddle, and Big K, Corey Stringer, and the right guard are staring at me. Why you had to cut Reggie? I say, don't call that play. Like, y'all yell at me if I don't get the man's hands down. And y'all, I say, so what you want me to do? So the very next play, and there is a picture of this in the Vikings facility. Reggie had that hump move.
Oh, that forklift technique.
And he caught Corey. And there's a picture of Corey a foot and a half off the ground, all 350 pounds up. And we watched the film, and they kept running it back. And Big K looked at me and said, that's why we don't cut Reggie.
So, that's an all-time great story.
I have never seen anybody move Corey like that. Nobody.
That forklift
And
technique
he forklifts him, call it the hump move. The hump move. He go outside and then do that hump move and go underneath. And we sat there and watched that on film, and we just stared. Nobody say nothing. We just looked at it and go, oh, my goodness. So, and you look at Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, quick as LT and strong as any other person to play that position. It is unbelievable what that man is able to do at that size. I don't think people realize how big Myles Garrett is. I stood next to him, and he could have wrapped a baby Bjorn around me and carried me around like a baby. and like, I'm telling like he is a massive dude moving that fast, that quickly, with that amount of strength.
Crazy.
You know, Leroy, I said something yesterday. A lot of people was confused. A lot of people said, "Dang, G. Bush." I never thought you would say that, man. I actually, because of the win and the way that they played against the Steelers, I really felt like I gave Kevin Stefanski some credit. I said, "Hey, look, man, it might not change the outcome of what's going to look like, whether he get fired or not. Mm-hmm. However, you know how in football, I feel like it's important because you just got to keep it a buck, man. You know, the Steelers came in and they were supposed to win. They were supposed to clinch the division and go off drinking Kool-Aid, doing their thing. The Browns came out there with a patchwork line, rookies everywhere, and they gutted out a win. And Cass was kind of salty. They was like, oh, man, we about to get – you messed our draft choices up. I said, man, listen, do you believe you played against the Steelers – and you understand, I watched all them games y'all played against the Steelers. Them games mean something. And what were your thoughts on, whether you should be playing for playoff position, or not playoff, but draft picks, or coming out there getting your team ready to go?
Let me explain something to you. And I would like to explain this to fans all over our great NFL country. If you accept losing, you're a loser. Okay? And under no circumstances, I've been competing my whole life. And the record may not reflect how bad I want to win. But I'm always going out there to win. We're all competitors. And if you go out there and ever tell somebody it's okay to lose, or we're not going to do everything we can to win, how do you fix that before you fix the players? There's something to be said about having a winning culture, even though you may not be winning. And then you have to I've seen a whole bunch of teams that have tanked for better draft picks. And who's to say you're going to pick the right dude anyway?
Man.
Like, look at all the top quarterbacks in the league. How many of them were drafted in the teens? Right? So, I get what everybody's saying, but if you have 20 guys on your team that you've let just mail it in, and those are going to be your base for next year, how you going to fix that? How you going to fix that losing attitude that you actually cheered for your team to have? It takes a lot to fix that. It takes a lot to fix the team going about winning football games in a winning way. That takes a lot. That's the basis for all good teams and how good organizations are built. If you start playing with, oh, it's okay, we'll just turn it on next year, or we'll fix it when we get a high draft pick. What you gonna do if your draft pick sucks? Now you got 21 losers. You see what I'm saying? Under no circumstance are you ever. And by the way, I want y'all to go out. Oh man, we ruined our draft pick. Go tell Myles Garrett that to his face. Go tell Myles Garrett, why didn't you lose? Go ahead.
No, I'm straight. I'm cool on that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, first of all, we guaranteeing that, we gonna have make the best decision with the draft, or sometimes the highest graded players don't pan out. So, like, to try to position yourself from one of those top draft picks is not guaranteeing you're gonna turn it around. But it does show one thing. You're going to have some guys in there that's okay with losing. I don't want that.
Shedeur Sanders has played, like, well at times. He's had some wow moments. He's also had some, like, head-scratching moments. You're like, oh, my God, this is terrible.
Like he's a rookie quarterback?
Yeah, which is what you see out of all rookie quarterbacks. I guess my question is, they get this win, which sort of muddies things a little bit, I guess, for the front office and figure out, as ownership, what you want to do with the coaching staff and your GM. Is there a chance if they hire a new head coach that Shedor's gone next year, or will he be here no matter what, in your opinion?
I think he'll be here.
Okay.
Here's the crazy thing, and I had a conversation with Jay about this, and I'm like, I want the guy that gives me the best chance to win. Period. End of story. Right? And a lot of times we don't necessarily know because we don't see him on a day-to-day basis. Here's the crazy thing about it. We watch these games, and we watch Shador make plays and look very comfortable playing the position. And we like, oh, that's better, right? He looks like he gives us a better chance to win. He pushes the ball down the field. Then you look at the numbers, and the numbers don't necessarily reflect what you're seeing. And I don't know how to handle that because I'm watching it, and he looks better than Dillon Gabriel with how he plays the position. But then I look at the numbers, and the numbers aren't better. So, I mean, I'll ask you, how do we receive this information?
Yeah, Leroy, I would say, to me, it doesn't even matter. To me, I don't think anybody's arguing who's better between the two. I mean, to me, clearly, Shedeur, despite having worse numbers, is better than Dillon Gabriel. The question is he good enough? But yes, the numbers are not good for the most part. It is tough, which makes it tricky. It makes it tricky. And like most rookie quarterbacks, I think you don't know. Like, how is he good enough to win with? I've been saying, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think he could be. I think he might not be. I'm not sure yet.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
And I said this, earlier in the season, that some of it falls on Shedeur to play the part to get onto the field, right? And anybody who's played football will tell you, before you get on the field, there's a couple of things you have to do to earn the right to be on that field, regardless of what position you play. And every coach has probably spoken to all of us about that. Here's what you need to do so we can be comfortable or confident putting you in the game. Everybody's heard that speech. And so I would get on Shedeur based on some of the things he was saying without really knowing what he was doing to get himself ready to play. When he got the opportunity, the one thing that I'll say about him is he looks comfortable. It doesn't look rushed. Now, he still makes some crazy throws and poor decisions. But I'm going to chalk that up to being a rookie. and not knowing when you should take a chance, when you can fit a ball in the hole, when you should throw that ball, when you should, I'm a chalk that up to being a rookie. Does that mean that just watching him play, I'm thinking, yeah, maybe they ought to invest a little more time into him. Right? Maybe they ought to, because the nervousness that young quarterbacks go into a game with when they first start playing. Shedeur didn't really come into that. He was comfortable, even though he wasn't playing great football. And there were certain things like the running backwards, they're like, we got to stop that. Like, we don't need 2nd and 30 because you keep going backwards. But those are things that I think he can get better at. And watching him play and watching him throw the ball and watching some of his decision-making and making plays and stuff like that, I think that warrants, let's put some time and effort into him and see what he has. Does it mean that you don't draft a quarterback? No, what it means is if a quarterback is available, you better be damn sure that you're making a pick that's going to work and not necessarily you picking a quarterback because you need one. It gives you options. Yeah. So from that standpoint, I'm confused as anybody. I'm usually never confused when it comes to whether a guy should be playing or not. But when I watch him play, you see a lot of good. You see things that, okay, is this portion of this going to get better with more reps? Because keep in mind, Dylan Gabriel got a majority of the reps. He was probably more prepared when he was starting because he was made the backup. And Shador was kind of just last case, okay, let's let Shador play. So if he gets that same energy and that same preparation and that same work, is he going to put the time in? And do I think that, hey, if we clean certain things up with what he's done so far, it looks like he can be productive? Now, I don't know that for sure, but it does give you options.
Yeah. Leroy, good stuff, man. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll talk
Happy
to you again
holidays.
soon.
Happy
Go
holidays.
Bucks,
See ya.
Leroy. Enjoy Kyle winning him.
See you, Leroy.
All right,
Head
man.
coach
Y'all
is
have-
66.
have a good-
Congratulations.
That
Thank
was
you, Leroy.
Leroy Hoard. Always love talking to Leroy.
Yeah.
We'll get to our